everyone. How are you doing today? Welcome to our first ASID PAEast Instagram Live. So for those of you joining us today, we're going to wait a few minutes to get some people to come on. And I see Vita's joining us. I'll grab her in a second. We can do that. So we're just waiting for Vita to join us. There she is!
Hi, how are you?
Now that I'm like split screen, I feel like I have to raise the...
No, you have to like readjust yourself, right?
It's really good being a designer because you have tons of coffee table books. So I have way too many things. So hold on a second. That's my ASID notebook. Okay, there we go. See? We're even using our... Excuse the grab clip in the background there, but...
No, it's cool. I like it.
I do. Use the sign.
Very nice.
Hello, my
very
dear.
nice.
So lovely to see you.
Hi. Thank you for having me, Kim. I appreciate it very much.
Eric's on.
Eric in Florida? Eric? Oh my God, Eric. Hi.
That's because I told him earlier. Watch it.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes. So we're going to be... More people are joining as we speak, which is awesome. So just for
cool.
you guys,
hey.
just for you guys know to, and Vita, I don't know, can you see the comments at the bottom?
I can.
Okay, cool.
I see people saying hi. Yeah. Can you?
Perfect. Yep. So just for you guys who don't know, we are the Pennsylvania East chapter of ASID, which is the American Society of Interior Designers. My name's Kim Slater. I am the Director of Communications, immediate past president, and whatever else you want to call it. We have the lovely Vita with us today, who is our Director of Membership as well. And fabulous job doing that. She was just elected for a second term because she's awesome. Oh, hi, Deb. I see Deb there. She's one of our other board members. We got Kohler joining us today. I'm loving this.
Hello, Kohler.
So Vita was wonderful enough to be our guinea pig for the day, and what we're going to do is
the first one, don't judge, please. Can this be like a no judgment zone?
This was just something born out of like our brains during our board meeting, which we did via Zoom, which is fabulous because now we realize that there's ways for our members to be more active now, where they don't have to worry about paying to park in the city or driving through traffic on the Schuylkill River and so forth. So what we thought about doing was this cool little like Instagram live lunch and learn, so that you can sit here and watch us while you eat your lunch. We're not really doing in-person lunch and learns anymore or our fun sips and spaces. So why not try to do a little bit something more different? I do need to go grab a better thing than a sheet. I do have.
I can't tell that it's a sheet, so it's okay.
But this is like, you know, just kind of covers up the back wall. So
but you know, Kim, I have to say what a great idea this is. And like you said, this was born completely out of, you know, nowhere, if you will. It was brainstormed by the board just a week ago, and how quickly we can turn around and make it happen. And I also want to give kudos to you. I've given it to you privately, and I want to do it publicly here for everybody to hear that Kim has done a fabulous job as our communications director. She is keeping up with all of the members' comings and goings on social media. She's been putting together everybody's CEUs and lunch and learns and presentations and whatever else educational material the members have been putting together. And so you have taken upon yourself to collate all of that, to curate it, and then to push it out to the design community to let them know what's happening. So great job. Well done, Kim.
Thank you. Yes, Eric, pass this on down in Florida South. So Eric, who we're referencing, is a past board member, past chapter member. He's now living the life in Miami area. And he was past president of our chapter before I was. So what we're going to do today, and just so you guys know that we're going to do this every Tuesday. We've got a few weeks booked up for everybody. Next week, we have Lindsay, who, as we're making this announcement right now, will be our next student to the student representative to the board of directors. So she's a grad student.
Welcome, Lindsay.
So she'll be joining us next week. I think Allison, our student representative, is going to take over our Instagram and interview her next week instead of me. We may do this on other days than Tuesdays because there's some people who are interested who aren't available on a Tuesday. And we have some other great people coming up, like Maria Viola, who's a past chapter president.
Nice.
We have Rika, who's our Sherwin-Williams representative. So
awesome.
We've got a couple of weeks already booked up for you guys. So forever long,
that's
we're
amazing.
At home. Maybe we move this to other days, you know, in the future and just keep it going.
It's just such a great way to highlight our membership. And, you know, like for me personally, as a membership director, you know, I'm doing this sort of as a guinea pig, you know, trying to make sure that we have all of our kinks worked out. But for me, what's the most important part in this as a membership director for our chapter is, as you know, I always say, what's the value? What is the value of our membership? Why should people join? Why should they stay? Why should they get involved? Why should they show up? Why should they care? And here is one of the ways that, you know, answers all of those whys. Here's, you know, our way of trying to highlight our members and bring to the surface and to everybody's knowledge what our members are up to, what makes them special, what makes them tick, what have they been up to, and, you know, all of those great things in a very informal kind of way.
Yeah, exactly. And we all got up. Vita and I were just commenting. We both, you know.
Yeah, I curled my hair. I put some lipstick. I have no idea what's in the back. You know.
So I heard something interesting, like speaking of that, I heard something interesting in the morning today, and I forget exactly the term they were talking about, what they called it, but, you know, there are people who've worked from home. Like, I was talking to my dad last night. It was his 75th birthday, and he worked home for years before he retired. So for him, this is his norm, you know, being in but except for being able to go out more, you know, can't go play golf right now. So, but the thing of it is he made sure he got up every morning. I remember him saying, make sure he got dressed every morning, you know, and so forth. So, like, usually for me, my work from home day is a Monday, and I'm on the road 4 days a week with my job. So I always make sure I get, you know, I might not have the hair done or whatever, but I think I've done my hair and makeup more than I have on all those Mondays in the past 4 years of my job, you know, this past 5 weeks. But, you know, just, it kind of makes you feel a little bit better. It feels like you're getting up and like going somewhere, even if you're just going to go to the grocery store, you know. So
there are definitely certain things that I've realized in the last 5 weeks that we've been staying at home that are absolute must and kind of non-negotiables. And maybe, you know, curling of the hair is an option for when you're on Instagram Live, but, you know, things like a shower, morning shower, and, you know, certain morning routine. And for me, it's become a morning walk. So there's certain things that really have to be non-negotiable. And I not only speak as everybody's colleague and someone who has been staying home just like everyone else, but also as a mom. And as moms, those of you who are listening know that with that newborn, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to stay sane, and it's very easy to kind of lose yourself in the everyday groundhog kind of day grind where you don't know where's the morning, where's the night, if it's Tuesday or Friday, you know, whatever day of the week it is. So, you know, for me, my kids are 7 and 10, but I still remember those days, and some of those were tough days, just like they are right now. And so if anything else, we kind of need to remember to take those few minutes to take care of ourselves, whatever that means to us.
Get outside, walk around, you know, if you can, wherever you are. So, you know, those type of things. I go out on my deck, you know, it's nice and socially distant for everybody else. So that's what I get to do. So we've kind of got some few things we're going to talk about just to kind of go. And one of the things is just because we're seeing all these Instagram lives. I mean, every day at like 1 o'clock, I watch Cindy Allen on the interior design Instagram live. There's just so many different ones, and it's just really neat to get to see people interact and hear about people you haven't heard about before. So that's kind of where this idea came about. So one of the things, and I've pulled some questions from those other ones. So, you know, if you watch these, this is kind of where I got some of the ideas for the questions.
No worries, throw it my way.
You know, we know Vita at, you know, from her company Vitalia Inc., and we're gonna have her talk about that. But what did you do before that? You know, yes, you're a mother, but you've got so many things. Like, what was your start? Because you didn't do your interior design to the trade window treatment. So tell us about that, you know.
That's right. That's right. So actually, Vitalia Inc. started 15 years ago, and prior to that, I worked as a in corporate America. Actually, I graduated with a degree in marketing and fashion merchandising, and went to work for a national retailer as a buyer, well, first assistant buyer and then progressed to a buyer. And then I decided to pursue more of a marketing um, uh, tangent of my education and went to work for Lennox. Lennox as in Lennox China. Everybody has a little bit of Lennox in their China
I'm learning
cabinet,
now.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, yeah. So I started there. You know, marketing is my love. I mean, it's my passion. It's my love. Anything marketing related, I get so excited. So when I decided to switch from buying to marketing, it was just really fed my soul. It fed my business spirit, my business desire, acumen. So I started as a marketing assistant and progressed through the Lennox ranks to a marketing director. So altogether, I spent about 10 years in corporate America. I managed multi-million-dollar P&Ls, which was kind of fun. I had a
Mm-hmm.
whole department within the company that I managed, and there was some product development there, some marketing, a lot of financials, a lot of communication, and dealing with
Mm-hmm.
some of the interpersonal relationships and some politics. You know how corporate goes. And
Yeah.
I was sort of bit by the entrepreneurial bug during my pursuing my MBA, where I had the most wonderful entrepreneurship professor who was an entrepreneur himself. And he just kind of inspired me, if you will. And so I started looking for an opportunity. It wasn't necessarily an interior design or window treatment.
Right.
It was any opportunity where I could shine as a business person and bring value to my potential customers.
Wow. Well, you definitely with your business now, you're definitely, you do podcasts, you do webinars, so you're definitely all about the market. You're on your Instagram, stories every day, so that definitely fits. Now, how did you fall when you said you were looking? How did you fall into in essence, for back of a better word, fall into the window treatments and specifically for the design trade?
Sure, sure, sure. So believe it or not, I looked into all sorts of business opportunities, and some had nothing to do with interior design at all or
Mm.
window treatments. I was very much into fitness, so I looked into opening my own aerobic studio. I even looked into there was one idea out of California of used cardboard boxes, believe it or not. So that was a whole different tangent.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, I stumbled, or somebody introduced, I think, to me a franchise called V2K Window Decor. And that was
Yep.
all about window treatments. And kind of serendipitously and fortuitously, if that's the word, it matched my initials. So it just kind of fell
Okay.
into it. So, but, in retrospect, it didn't just fall into it, I think, where what really appealed to me was the business model of it and how I can run a sustainable,
Mm-hmm.
profitable business, how I can bring true value to my customers, how this is a unique opportunity in that there is not a whole lot of if you will, it's easy to enter the market, but it's not, there's no barriers to market would be the economic term, but it's not very easy to stay in it because the investment is high, the cost of
Mm-hmm.
mistakes is very high, the knowledge and experience needs to be pretty deep in order to sustainably stay in this business. And then another thing that I think really appealed to me that I realized, I think some years later, probably not in the beginning, is that it takes somebody who is very detail oriented. And if I can use a little bit of self-deprecating humor,
Mm-hmm.
very anal with a touch of
Mm-hmm.
OCD,
Our profession
sprinkling.
is very detail oriented. Yes.
Yeah, and that's kind of how my head works. I think in spreadsheets and I dream in spreadsheets. And whenever I get any kind of information, my brain immediately pulls it into rows and columns and
I will concur
organizes
with
it.
that. You do report your board reports and in spreadsheets, and you're like,
Exactly.
gonna work on that. I'm gonna do a spreadsheet. Give me the info. Yep, that's how you do it. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And so anybody who's done any kind of work with window treatments, whether it's a window treatment professional like myself or an interior designer who specifies window treatments, you know the amount of detail, the amount of intricacy, the amount of knowledge and
Mm-hmm.
expertise you really need to have in order to be able to take the project from beginning to the end and everything that can go wrong in between. And so
Mm-hmm.
in the last 15 years, I feel like I have done everything that could go wrong. I've experienced as much of it as I think humanly possible, and certainly have paid for it in terms of finances, in terms of mental bandwidth, and I'm sure lots of gray hairs and some
Yeah.
wrinkles too along the way.
Thank goodness for the internet. You really can't see our gray hairs right now, you know?
I know, thank God. Well, you can see my roots, but
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
So awesome. Now, why don't you tell us a little bit about, your business now, especially including the special projects you've been working on and, your involvement with ASID, just kind of flowing into that. So, but
Sure, of course. So at this point, Vitalia Inc., we usually, any business progresses through different ebbs and flows, and we evolve just like we evolve as human beings, our businesses evolve with us. So at this point, Vitalia Inc. is a all-inclusive, comprehensive go-to resource for interior designers in terms of window treatments and related products. And we are a measurement, we are a fabrication, installation, and project management company exclusively to the trade. And so most of our business is window treatments, those being draperies, shades, blinds, motorization is a big part of our business, as well as some related products. And those could be like bedding and upholstery.
mm-hmm.
We've even done some really unique projects like play tents for kids' rooms or outdoor grill covers. And once we've even done a monogrammed custom Potbelly pig tote. I kid you not.
There's
so, so we
you can do all
work,
different things. Yeah.
we really do, you know, anything that if a designer can, um, when she or he thinks of the whole room scope or the project scope, we can support them with anything that is fabrics and soft furnishings related, from window treatments to upholstery to pillows to bedding and everything kind of that relates to that.
Mm-hmm.
So we are a team of 5 people, with me being at the helm, and we have our general manager, which is the back-end person, our window treatment specialist, who is the client-facing, sort of the front-end person.
Mm-hmm.
We have our seamster, whose fingers touch everything that comes out of our workroom, and of course, we have our installer, who makes us look good at the very end,
Yeah.
to the customers and to the designers.
Yes, installation is a lot of times the final key, definitely.
That's right, because you know the designer can dream up the most gorgeous project design, and we can project manage the heck out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But if the installation is not up to par at the very end, or even if the product is great, but the interaction between the installer and the customer kind of left
Yeah.
sort of a sour, taste in your mouth, even if the project is gorgeous, it really everything has to be on par. The product, the experience, the
Yes.
communication, like it all has to be wrapped up in a pretty bow. And that's essentially what we do at Vitalia Inc. We kind of try to take all of that stress and worry and detail and minutia, all of those 2 a.m. pings, I call them, when you're like, when you
Mm-hmm.
wake up, and you're like, oh my God, did I do this bracket deduction correctly? Did I order the right
Right.
amount of rings? Is this fabric correct? What if all of those things. So we take
Mm-hmm.
all of that stress and worry, we take it off of our designer's plate, we put it onto ours, and in the process, we make our designers look good and make them look like heroes. So that's what we're here for.
That's that exactly. And I can speak to experience having worked with Vita on some projects before. You know, sometimes things always don't go right. It's not her fault. It's not my fault. It's just something happens, and she will step up. She'll go visit the client, make sure things are right. So it's definitely nice having a company that will oversee everything, you know, and the fact that you're exclusive to the trade is fabulous, because then you're working with people who understand the ins and outs of design and window treatments and, you know, whatever other things you're making, because sometimes the clients don't understand that. So, you know, it's a great, you know, tool for those practitioners in our field, definitely.
And you know that that's exactly right. You hit the nail on the head there. We are so versed in the product knowledge, so we can walk the client. Well, our immediate
Mm-hmm.
client is the design firm, and then their client, of course, is the end consumer. And so we're so versed in the product knowledge that we can walk them through the different options that are available, through the pros and cons of using each option. We can give them our personal feedback or input as to what, you know, what our personal opinion is. Of course, it's their call at the end, and we never want to
Mm-hmm.
step on their toes. But from our standpoint, we can say, in this particular situation, we use product A and product B, and product B worked out better because of this criteria. This is why it worked out better. But we're also so versed in kind of making the ultimate the client feel comfortable and feel taken care of, you know, and that's really important. It's like I was saying earlier, it's not even just the end product that's important. It's not the beautiful drapery, but the experience of it. And we're really good at just you know, making the situation nice and comfortable and calming and very positive for everybody. And then on the trade side, we are very detailed. We're on the ball. We're just like boom, boom, boom. You know, we know what needs to be done. We tell them. We keep them abreast of the communication. We use very robust project management system so that our clients know at all times at which stage of the project, at which stage their project is at.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of that professional communication, that's kind of, I think, where my corporate background comes in, and everybody's constantly in the loop. So here on one side, we have a lot of warm and fuzzy. On the client side, on the design side, we have a lot of, you know, hard-hitting facts and exactly what's happening, what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. Now, right now, window treatments for people wouldn't seem to be, you know, an essential item. So you've kind of switched gears. You've even changed up your logo a little bit. So why don't you tell us about the current project you've been working on? Um,
Sure, of course. Thanks, Kim. So yeah, so as much as I love window treatments, and of course we all will probably agree that window treatments are an essential part to any design project. In in the face of the situation of this crisis, fabricating window treatments, even though our pipeline was full, it just isn't as relevant at this point, and we can't really install them it wouldn't be responsible of us to install them anyway. What is responsible thing to do is to use our expertise, our knowledge, our equipment, our skills, and pivot it towards fabricating something that is really needed. And what is one of those things that is so needed and has been in such lack? It's face masks. So
yeah.
for the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks, we've pivoted pretty quickly. I think about 1 week into the shutdown here in Pennsylvania, we have developed a
You
prototype.
started right away. Yeah.
We have developed a prototype. I worked with some of my physician friends. I have a neighbor and as well as a friend in a different neighborhood. And we made, I think, 5 or 6 different prototypes, 2 of each. I sent it out, delivered it to both of them. They put it on, kind of tested it. We netted out on one specific style, and that's the style that we've been cranking out for the last, I guess, 4 weeks or so. And I am proud to and glad to report that as of this weekend, today's what, Tuesday, as of this
Yeah.
weekend, we hit 2,000
Oh my goodness.
masks mark.
Yes,
That's
yes.
right.
Alice here says you are a rock star. You are. That's
Whoop,
amazing.
whoop.
So that's amazing. So yes, exactly. They're becoming, it's interesting. At first it was like, okay, we need this. I mean, it's become mandated in Pennsylvania now. If you go out, you have to have a mask on. So that's but you're providing it for the healthcare system, the healthcare workers. So that's, you know, fire departments you've delivered them to. So
All of the first responders, that's right. We've taken it to the police departments, to the fire departments, to nurses, doctors, healthcare, like a nursing home type of healthcare workers. So, you know, it's really, Kim, it's quite unnerving to have conversations with doctors who say, I have to be in a COVID-19 tent in 2 days and I don't have a mask. I don't have
wow.
anything to protect myself. And I mean, it's just like the chills, like even remembering those conversations, I feel goosebumps and chills. I mean, and really being live with that person on the phone was just, it's almost like life altering, to be honest. And
Yeah.
when you
Oh,
think about it, we have everybody has some kind of resource, everybody can do something. So if I have the seamster who has the skill, we have the machines, the equipment, the sewing machines to get it done, of course we're going to do it. And I have to highlight, there were several companies that really stepped up and
yes.
helped up with fabric donations.
Yes.
So
Do you want to name? Please feel
I
free
would
to.
love to if I
Yeah.
can. Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
So Stout Textiles has donated, I mean, I think like 200 plus yards to this
Oh my.
initiative, which is
And they're a
incredible.
fabulous,
Yes.
you know, Eastern Pennsylvania company. So
Yep, terrific. Stout Textiles, definitely check them out. Michaels Mitchell's has donated. They were one of the first companies who had sent us their fabrics, and they're wonderful. And also Clarence House, my wonderful Mary Beth Brown. Yes, she made it happen, and we've received some fabrics from them as well. So I am just so thankful to these companies who are making it possible for us to really make it happen. And actually now what's happening is, you know, as people learning about all of this, they're making donations, and I'm so
mm-hmm.
grateful too, because it's making it possible for this effort to move forward. Because otherwise,
Yeah.
as a small business, of course we want to do good, of course we want to be responsible civilians and business people, but on our own as small businesses we can only take it so far. So now with additional donations from people, it's just been remarkable and heartwarming, and just, you know, just gives you chills.
It's amazing what you're doing. I mean, we can't say enough. And I mean, it's just one way
Thank
for
you.
our design community be, you know, help out some way, you know, that we might not think we can. And you're right, it's very chilling. One of my friends posted, you know, this photo of her. She's a nurse within the one of the Southern New Jersey health systems, and she posted a picture of her Instagram story yesterday. You know, the flow garb, the face mask. She's posted pictures of where she has to put her mask into like little Tupperware lunch containers with her name on it, so that her mask is, you know, separate. And I just looked at it and I'm like, you know,
Wow.
it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's scary. So, you know,
And that's, you know, when I think about it, you know, sometimes the situation gets compared to wartime, you know, and yes, it's partially wartime for all of our first responders, and especially the nurses, the physicians, all the healthcare workers out there who are going out to work every day, working crazy hours and crazy shifts, and helping the sick. Whereas for the rest of us, I mean, it's super hard. And yes, it's the loss of income, the loss of identity in some instances, the not knowing, homeschooling of the children, you know, all of that. I mean, that adds so many layers to our already full plate. But I think by comparison to the true heroes of this, I mean, this is be home and be in my office, you know, maybe curling my hair. I mean, that's the least thing that I can do to support this.
Exactly. So we thank you for that. So just to kind of follow up with a couple other things, and then we'll let you go for the day. And I see Allison, who's our student current rep to the board on here, who has joined us today. She'll be taking over live. We'll mention this at the end of this. She'll be taking over live some upcoming things we have. So one of the things I saw is, you know, during this time, you know, we're all coming up with little different hobbies, different things. I've been making little decorative like hats that I get that are kits from somebody on Etsy. You know, like just little different things, you know, the motivation to do things like I'm going to clean out my closet Yeah, I've been home for 5 weeks. Have I done it? No. You know, it's like, well, I'm
I know,
still
where does the
here
time
for another
go?
2 weeks. I'll get to it. No. You know, so one of the things that you know, is different activities that we're normal used to having. And you know, me, I'm used to, you know, being out on the road for work all day, and then I have this committee meeting, I have this board meeting, I have this ASID event, I have this IIDA event, you know, and I'm used to being out and going and doing things. Not doing that right now. So, you know, last week we had our board meeting, and then I was at my computer. Mind you, I was at my computer since like 8 o'clock that morning for work, and at my desk till like midnight working on like graphics for ASID and everything. So it was like, it kind of gave me a sense of norm, like having our
Yeah.
board meeting. So things like this. So it's kind of, you know, finding ways to do that. But, you know, just to get, for people to get to know you a little bit more, there are some hobbies that you do that are amazing. I think we need, when we're out of this, because we will be out of this, and we get done, we need to have a Vita dance class. I am serious, because there's some of us who, even though they are like, I haven't had carbs in like 8 weeks, you're just in your house, you know, you might be able to go for a walk, you know, but you're not in your normal active lifestyle. So tell us, you know, some normal activities, the one that I'm kind of hinting at here, that, you know, that you get, they don't, you're not being able to work. Are you dancing at home? So tell us about your dancing, because Mika is amazing at this. She has a whole nother life that she's amazing at. So tell us a
I have
little bit about that.
it's like a whole different side of me, you know. So yeah, so what Kim was referring to is that I am a, you know, people call me a ballroom dancer, which I think is a very fancy term because I'm an amateur. I'm a total complete amateur. So I call myself a ballroom dance enthusiast, we'll call it. But it's something, you know, we all have our hobbies, and for me it is ballroom dancing. It is pro-am, meaning that I'm the amateur and I dance with my teacher who is the pro. And he also has, you know, 10, 20, however many students just like me with whom he dances. And every once in a while, we go to competitions. And my latest one was actually just this past February. So it wasn't even that long ago in New York City, of all places, actually, to think about
Mm-hmm.
that. And yeah, so it's a lot of fun. I dance cha-cha, rumba, bolero, swing, and mambo. And mambo is salsa on two, which is like a whole different world in itself. And so it's so much fun usually for me until, and you know, there's some real
I
drills and
know.
some real athleticism involved in that too. But no matter how hard it is like, it's me time, it's my therapy, it's what I love doing. It feeds my creative side, it feeds my detailed anal side, because a move that literally takes 2 seconds in a dance, we can drill that move for 45 minutes, and I still need to drill it even more. So it kind of feeds that anal retentive
Mm-hmm.
side of me, and it feeds my competitive side. You know, I have that too. So
Right.
going to the competitions, and you know, I always want to place higher. Actually, come to think of it, here is one of the trophies that I got
Oh,
in
look
one of the
at that.
competitions. Yeah, so there's a so it's, and you know, no, I have not been able to do this. I have not been able to dance during this time, unfortunately. And you know, and I have to say that this has been, it's like, it's not like, I think you can take everything that you've been doing before this, whatever your old normal was,
Right.
and just plop it into this new normal. Some things translated, and I'm sure there's certainly some dance classes via Zoom, and but you know, I have to say some days are, you know, really great, and things seem to flow, and
Yes.
it just, your state of mind is good and everything is great. And there are other days that are really, really tough. And I've realized in talking to my colleagues and just various people that I've actually gotten to know in this whole process, which is another silver lining. So I've realized that we all experience and process everything that's happened in our own unique ways. But I have to say the one commonality that I'm seeing is that we all hit our kind of rock bottom and our lows at
Yes,
different
you
times.
posted about that like yesterday. Like, have you had your if to
Have you
forget
had
what
your
the word?
breakdown yet?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm gonna look
I,
for
I
this really quick as you're talking. Yes.
I did post it. It happens to be a highly personal recount
There
of
you go.
some of the experiences that
Post.
I've gone through in the last few weeks. And I have to tell you, Kim, it's only been up there for whatever a day. The feedback, the
Mm-hmm.
comments that I'm
Yes.
getting back are like I'm crying over the comments that I'm getting back from people. They're saying, thank you for sharing this. I read what you wrote and I feel like you're talking to me. I feel like you're talking about me. This is exactly what I went through. Thank you for being honest, for being raw, for being vulnerable. And it was scary. I mean, it was scary to put it out there like that,
Oh
because
yeah. No,
it is a very personal recount of what happened. But I did put it out there because I realized and I was encouraged actually by my family and some friends, because I know, and I'm already seeing it, because what I went through can help other people. And if I experienced the kind of the bottom and a real low and was really down on myself and questioned myself in so many ways, I know other people are experiencing that too. So if I felt compelled to put it into words. Writing oftentimes is therapeutic for me.
yeah.
So it was like one of those, like 5 o'clock in the morning, you can't sleep anymore. You come downstairs into the office and you just like start typing away, and it just like it all flowed out there. So I'm making it available. I'm making my experience, my write-up, my everything that what I felt, I'm making it available to other people and hoping that it will help. So anybody can go. It is vitaliainc.com/friend. Friend as
Fabulous.
in we're friends. So if we're a friend
Yeah.
of Vitalia Inc. and of mine, I would love for you to read it.
Perfect. And you've posted it on your Instagram with the link to that. So that's fabulous. So no, definitely.
Yeah.
So wonderful. So just to give you guys a little update before we end today. And if you hear a beeping in the background, I apologize. That's my alarm clock from like high school that I still have, and it didn't realize it was going to start beeping, and it's down the hall. And I apologize if you guys hear this beep and incessant beeping. I don't know how to fix it. I've tried, but it's the only thing that's loud enough. So I apologize I'm going to unplug it the next time.
No worries.
It's got to be 25 years old, somewhere in there. But just to give you guys an idea, some of the other things we're doing with our chapter is tomorrow night. You'll have seen a theme this year of 45 because it is ASID's 45th anniversary. We are having our Hump Day happy hour. So come on to our Zoom. The link is in our chapter's Instagram. I've completely forgotten to post about this, but we now have the link tree to thank you, Aaliyah Hammond. I now have the link tree through our Instagram bio. Sorry, bright light, but it's right there. Mm-hmm. And you can click on that and you can link to all different things with our chapter from our Hump Day happy hour. So you can go to the Zoom for that. So we're going to do that at 4:45 tomorrow. So everybody's welcome to join us. Come on, say hi, bring a glass of wine, whatever you may need.
Definitely.
And, for about 45 minutes, we'll go live on Zoom, and you can come in, say hi, meet some new friends, say hello to some old ones. It's a chapter event that you don't have to drive anywhere for or pay parking in Philly. So, or drive out to King of Prussia at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's definitely awesome. Something beneficial for everybody for that. And then we're going to be continuing these Instagram lives. This Thursday, Allison Kepler, who is our current student representative to the board, she will be going live on Instagram. She's going to do our Instagram takeover, and she is going to be asking questions for the students of our design schools in the area. Everything from Moore College of Art and Design to Drexel to the Harkham's Interiors Program to the Jefferson, also known as Philly U, interiors program, which is going to be asking you guys some questions. So make sure you, you know, ask questions, give her some answers on our Instagram Live, and she is going to use that for a, we're going to make it a student, in essence, hump day happy hour next week virtually, where it's going to be a little bit more of a panel discussion, you know, for students to ask questions in a very informal feel where they're not feeling like I'm here and, you know, there's the panel firing squad up there, you know, that you might feel intimidated to ask questions. So that's going to be next Thursdays, and then we'll, you know, resume to the happy hour for everybody else. And then, so we're going to have that. And then Allison will be interviewing Lindsay, who is will be our next year's student representative to the board. And they'll be doing this format next Tuesday, and kind of talking about student affairs, what it's like to be a student right now. You know, unfortunately, the seniors of this year are not getting their senior year, which is, you know, it's very sad to see.
Very sad.
You know, you know, from high school to college. So, and, you know, for a lot of college students, they just had to pack up and go. And, you know, you know, where do you go from there? So, and, you know, especially some of the things like, you know, the job market, like, okay, well, how do I go find a job now? You know, so there's a lot of those questions, definitely. So Allison and Lindsay will be tackling that for the younger generation next week. So we hope you guys have enjoyed our first Instagram Live. Thank you.
Hey, nothing blew up. Nothing
Nothing
broke.
blew up.
Everything. Everything's still standing.
We didn't lose connection. I watched an Instagram Live with one of the members of one of my favorite music groups every Monday night, and the connection just literally keeps crashing. That he's made it into a drinking game, which is to start every time he crashes.
Every time it crashes, you drink. Yeah,
drink.
Yeah.
It's priceless.
You know, I do have to say, like, I think these are so important, you know, whether it's like these informal lives or whether there are more formal webinars or lunch and learn, virtual lunch, whatever virtual type of connection I think we can get with each other during this time. I think it's really, really important. I mean, we supposedly have all this time now, right? I mean, yes, we have additional responsibilities of homeschooling and additional cooking and additional cleaning. But on the other hand, we don't have the usual time sucks of driving and parking and, you know, going places. So,
and in our area understands that.
Yeah, but and this connection, but it's a human connection. The interaction of it, I think, is super important, and I don't think it should be overlooked. It's something that is to be celebrated and cherished. And I for one, am very excited and proud of our chapter for stepping up and really providing this value to our members. Here I go again. It's my membership hat on.
It's, as Vita says, value add. You know,
that's always about value.
And I can't end without saying, hopefully I'll see Vita later on the Zoom, so it'll be a quick one. We still have our Interior Design Awards planned for October now. It would have been in about 3 weeks ago. I probably would have been like running around with chicken, my head cut off. But we now have our Interior Design Awards. It will now be October 23rd. Tickets are still available. So, and what we love, and that, you know, from our chapter, we want to say thank you to, we were over 25% sold within the first week of ticket sales. And then that everything started to happen, and not one person has asked for their ticket to be refunded. They are planning to come in October. So we wanted to say thank you guys.
Definitely. You
know, to you in a public forum, to say thank you, you know, for believing in the chapter and the Design Awards. We're just all going to have to wait to see who wins till then. So sorry about that.
That's the hardest part.
Trust me, I entered. I'm like, okay, now I got to wait 6 months, you know. But, you know, we were like, you know, should we tell people? We're like, no, keep the suspense. Give something for people to look forward to.
We all need that, for sure.
Definitely. So. But thank you, Vita. Thanks for joining us and being my first guinea pig today.
No problem. Happy to be it. Thank you. I'm honored. Thanks.
And we will see everybody tomorrow night on our Hump Day Happy Hour with the Pennsylvania East. So we will see you guys soon. Thank you, everybody. Have a